So what's a pro surfer to do after he captures the Guinness World Record for riding the biggest wave ever? Chase another one, of course. Tonight, ABC's Alex Marquardt joins Garrett McNamara for his hunt for the Holy Grail, a perfect wave he calls Big Mama.
It can only be described as a moving mountain of water. And that tiny speck flying down the face of a monstrous peak is a man, Garrett McNamara, defying the sea gods as he surfs his way into the record books.
The ocean is, you know, it's our church and our playground, and thank God it's my office as well.
McNamara is one of the world's most celebrated big wave surfers, a sport in which 20-foot waves are just the minimum price of entry. But outside the surfing community, he was a virtual unknown until photos of his extraordinary feat started rocketing around the world, including this 78-foot Guinness World Record. At 47 years old, most professional athletes might consider retiring at the top of such a dangerous game. But this daredevil Hawaiian is still pushing the envelope, chasing one final prize, to surf the perfect wave.
What does that wave look like in your head?
When it comes, you'll see.
And you've given it a name.
Big Mama's out there. She's looming out there in the deep.
If McNamara is Captain Ahab, then Big Mama is his white whale, an obsession that sends him to the ends of the earth, chasing the elusive beast. This is where he's convinced he'll find her, just off the coast of a sleepy fishing village in Portugal called Nazaré. We're there as a nasty storm brewing in the Atlantic promises to produce one of the biggest swells McNamara has ever seen. One more chance to make history.
At this point in your career, do you still get nervous?
I never really get nervous. I just get excited.
In Nazaré, McNamara's found a place that regularly produces record-breaking sets. A phenomenon fueled by a massive underwater canyon just offshore that powers the swells from 3 miles deep. For generations, fishermen were practically the only souls willing to brave the dangerous surf.
Thousands of people die in Nazaré because the waves.
So did you grow up fearing the waves?
No, respect it.
Once McNamara started making headlines here, the fearless followed him, transforming this town into a world-class surfing destination. Unforgiving swells around the world have drowned fellow big wave surfers. And just 2 years ago in Nazaré, rising star Maya Gabeira was nearly killed by an 80-foot monster.
You're doing sit-ups. You're doing sit-ups.
These days, those deadly risks weigh heavier on McNamara because he and his wife Nicole had a son who they named Beryl after the hollow tube of a perfect breaking wave. We wanted to get a sense of the rush that has driven him for so many years despite the danger.
I'm just gonna ride a wave in.
So he invited me on a ride.
We're gonna head in through these waves into the beach now, just to get a sense of how big they are. We gotta hold on tight. Avalanche of water. That's awesome. Good over us? That's great. Am I swimming in or are we going up on top?
We go over before the answer comes. It's shallow but nearly impossible to stand or swim in the overpowering current.
Very difficult to get out. You can only imagine what happens when you fall off one of those big guys.
It's dawn on the morning of the big swell. Back at the harbor, McNamara and his team dart around, making their final preparations.
Yeah. You got a couple different surfers, their support teams, everyone getting geared up.
Including film crews from around the world. This American team from the Go Big project has been following McNamara for months.
Garrett said, gotta have the POV angle.
For a surfing adventure show called Maverick Moments launching this fall.
How many different angles?
Gosh, in total?
Yeah.
10.
The rising sun reveals a violent tangle of cascading surf. Word has spread. Hundreds gather for the show. McNamara suits up, layering protective padding and an inflatable vest.
Are you just going to sit out there waiting for that perfect wave to form?
It says hunt. You got to hunt.
As Garrett gets in the zone, it's not the peril, but the prize that he's focused on. His support team, 3 fellow surfers who will alternate towing each other into the waves on jet skis and respond immediately if anyone gets into trouble.
Tell Nicole I'm going to get a wave.
Up on the lighthouse, Nicole plays coach, coordinating safety while directing her husband into the belly of the biggest sets.
No good. You have a couple more waves, but more to the north of you.
The hunt is on for Big Mama. At first, a promising wave, but McNamara loses control.
I turned a little too hard.
There are a dozen other surfers in the water, but none with the same level of support.
So this is the fear that if you take a wave straight off of the lighthouse here, too close to shore, you're going to end up on these rocks. And once you're sucked in there, it'd be impossible to get out.
Hey, Garrett, somebody's getting really pounded.
And before long, Nicole spots trouble.
Garrett, there's a ski down and there's a guy in the water. They definitely need help.
A routine wipeout leaves 2 more surfers caught in the washing machine currents.
Garrett's racing in to try and save 2 guys who are a couple feet away from getting pounded against the rocks.
South of you, Garrett, south.
There we go, he's on. Garrett's got him. Both of them are safe.
With the swell now at full strength,
I'm gonna go get a Big Mama. Big Mama's moving so fast.
a jet ski tows McNamara into one of the biggest waves we've seen all day. Wow, he's flying.
Right as I kind of started to turn, the shadow came over. And I was kind of standing kind of casual and the thing just hit me and almost, luckily I stayed on.
An incredible ride, but not a record. For all the promise and hope, Big Mama never showed.
If you come all the way from Hawaii for a trip like this and you don't find your Big Mama, is that a disappointment?
I could let it bum me out. Yeah. But I guess she just wants me to come back. She don't want me to leave.
For Nightline, I'm Alex Marquardt in Nazaré, Portugal.